natural language processing can help us to really do text classification. You can take certain amount of text, and it can be used in cases, let's say, spam or not spam, whether the particular text is or email is in the spam category or not spam. We're looking at the different things, the subject line, the text in this, and so on and so forth. So that's where it can do text part of it. Of course, it can do something as sentiment recognition. Let's say you go to a restaurant and you put a text of in Yelp, we enjoyed the food and service. You just mentioned that you are giving some ratings and other things as well. But by just doing this text, it can start identifying that was a pleasant experience, a positive sentiment for that particular restaurant, versus if we had to wait for an excessive amount of time and our order was wrong, that could result into a negative sentiment. And by just doing this text analysis, it can start giving you sentiments and giving more meaning to that text for analysis, and overall how it can be summed up. Particular restaurant has more of negative sentiment versus the positive sentiments, and give meaningful applications and use case. If you think of information retrieval, that's reached to a very sophisticated level. When you think about Google searches, if you write 3 letters, Google automatically starts giving and telling you what is possible. And most of the time, the first 5 answers are your need is within the first 5 of those. It already has a repository of what most commonly people are looking, and just by a few letters it can identify. So it can be powerfully used in that situation. In fact, Google has now, Gmails have come up with a nice little capability of auto-completing emails, and that's pretty nice. And I've used it very often. And when you tab it and it starts filling in, saying, hi, so-and-so person, hope you're doing good, all these basic sentences, it can start filling it by itself, making life much, much faster. Machines can also perform a lot of translation on the text side of the data. So they can take a particular language text and convert to a particular model and give it to you in a different language. In very instantaneous perspective, I've used that many times, interacting with some people in different countries, and so on and so forth. Speech, again, we have 2 ways. One is the speech to text conversion, when you can take a piece of text and just gets converted, and then it can be transcribed in your voice messages or sent as a command back. It can be used in applications where speech becomes your ID. It's a mechanism to identify a person, authenticate a person. So a lot of interesting use cases around such capabilities. We have text to speech, where you have a text and it can be converted back. Think about Alexa answering you back. It's first doing some kind of text analysis in output, and then it's converting to speech, in which we can identify and hear, making it a much more seamless, hands-free interaction. On the computer vision side, there is a lot of advancement which has happened. We are reached to a point where the images, or the computer can find very easily what is in the image, which is object identification, whether the person, the car, the dog, the kid, and so on and so forth can be identified. We have reached that level. Of course, facial recognitions, and it is being used as an authentication system as well. Image recognition, and we'll use some of these things as well at a point of time, and it is giving a confidence level that it is able to identify 76% surety that this is an object, which is a dog, and so on and so forth. And that's the way machines look at it. The machines look at the data image more like this, and it's looking at these different objects, trying to identify piece by piece and convert that and think about different object detections and systems to it. So just recapping the few capabilities and what they have. A few more parts in the concept before we go to the demo.